I'm not like Dave Rubin, a giant sellout fraud who
Wow.
changed all of his positions and is totally useless and it shouldn't even be on here. He's just a waste of space.
Wow. Really? After all Dave said about coming together?
Yeah. Yeah, no, got no interest in coming together with utter frauds like Dave Rubin.
As you can see from the first 20 seconds of this clip is a doozy. We've got Cenk Uygur going absolutely nuclear on Dave Rubin in what might be one of the most hilariously unhinged rants. This clip is like watching a soap opera, but instead of Lover Scorned, it's Cenk ranting about Rubin betraying the progressive cause. This clip is interesting because when you're this mad at someone, it usually says more about you than it does about them. So I'll be giving you my unfiltered take. As always, let's get into it.
So brother, you telling me that when you were on the Young Turks, you were Mr. Progressive and you agreed with us 100%. Now all of a sudden you agree with Trump 100%. You're not saying something nuanced like we are. Hey, you know, when the guy gets shot at and he puts his fist up, that's courageous. When he does the McDonald's photo op and it works fine, no problem, right? If he wants to cut the Pentagon, great. Those are progressive positions. Anti-corruption, progressive position. Anti-war, progressive position. But you change all of your ideology overnight and you expect us to believe that that's real? I don't think it's real at all. And I want an apology from you for all the crazy, outrageous lies that you told about the Young Turks. When is that going to happen, huh?
Cenk is obviously wasting no time. He is claiming that being anti-corruption and anti-war are exclusive to progressives. But last time I checked, the left abandoned those ideals ages ago. You want to know who's the party cheerleading endless wars and cozying up to corrupt elites these days? Spoiler alert, it's not the conservatives. Cenk's basically admitting that Trump hit these points better than the so-called progressives ever did, and it's driving him nuts. It's like watching someone argue that their favorite restaurant still serves great food after the chef quit and took all of the recipes with him.
Wow. And when are you going to admit that you changed all your positions for money? Okay. Well, what position do you still have that's in any way a so-called classic liberal? You fraud.
Dave?
Piers, it's barely worth responding to this ridiculous buffoon who's the joke of the industry. I will say this, Cenk, I haven't spoken to you in 10 years.
Even right-wingers think that you're a total fraud.
I don't think he's a fraud or a joke. I think Dave Rubin is, for what it's worth, I think Dave Rubin is one of the most influential and significant voices out there right now. And I admire his honesty about the journey he's been on, Cenk.
Piers, I appreciate that, but you know, the thing is, what Cenk just proved is exactly what everyone in America, and I would say all over the world, is getting over. Nobody wants what he just offered up there. Not only does no one believe it, and he had it prepackaged and ready to go, and it's complete drivel. Yes, I sold out. It's so nonsensical. Again, Cenk, I'll gladly send you a signed copy of the book and you can read all of my thoughts. And if you're anti-corruption and you're anti-war, you should be on the Trump train.
A very excellent point here. Love him or hate him, Trump took bold stances on things like fighting corruption and calling out the military-industrial complex. Meanwhile, the left has spent years screaming about democracy while cozying up to big tech and war profiters. His point is simple. If you genuinely care about these issues, the right is actually walking the walk while the left just tweets hashtags and virtual signals. Cenk can't stand that reality because it shatters his whole narrative and invalidates his entire argument.
But your endless hatred, the division that you sow, calling everyone racist and white supremacists, all of that stuff, it's why you're not respected. But I don't mean to get into the personal side of that. I'm talking about now something that culturally has shifted, and everyone can see the grift that you're up to, trying to sort of dance with the thing. But it's just not necessary, and I don't think that many people will buy it.
Well, Cenk, let me put to you, Cenk, something that Laura. Hang on, Cenk. Cenk, hang on. I'm gonna read you something just to see your reaction. But Laura Loomer called you out on X, as you know, and she said this: you are the radical left, Cenk Uygur. You're a con artist and an opportunistic grifter who's gotten rich off demonizing President Trump, calling his supporters fascists and Nazis, promoting open borders, glorifying Hamas, and pushing conspiracy theories about Trump for 9 years. If you want forgiveness, get on your filthy knees and pray to Allah, because you aren't welcome on the right and you aren't ever going to find a redemption arc no matter how hard you pander. And she goes on and on. I'm going to keep calling you out every time you try to move an inch closer to many on the right, because you're too dense and too dumb, because they're too dense and too dumb to decode your subversion, but I'm not. So look, there are lots of people on the right who think that you're on some great move here to, as she puts it, wiggle your way into the middle and over to the right, so you can then poison MAGA with your, as she puts it, subhuman political takes. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Okay, so look, this is, people like Laura Loomer and Dave Rubin are the exact problem. And I think actually somebody else on this panel is part of the solution. That's Dave Smith. And I want to come back to that in a second. So when you have people like Dave Rubin switch all of their positions, what happens is when you go to do nuance and you say, hey guys, hold on, let me explain, hold on.
Alright, I just have to address this point because Cenk just keeps bringing it up. It's almost like Rubin's decision to leave the progressive bubble hit him on a personal level. But let's unpack this idea of quote-unquote switching all of your positions. What Cenk fails to realize, or conveniently ignores, is that Rubin didn't just wake up one day and flip a switch. He's explained time and time again how he gradually became disillusioned with the left's hypocrisy, censorship, and obsession with identity politics. That's not switching, that's called evolution, or growth. And let's be real, it's not like Rubin jumped ship for no reason. The left has been driving people away for years, whether it's the constant purity test, the mob mentality, or the refusal to engage in actual debate. They've created an environment where reasonable people simply don't feel welcome anymore. Cenk acts like Rubin owes him an apology for daring to think for himself. Newsflash, nobody owes you loyalty to a failing ideology, Cenk. Instead of being mad at Rubin, maybe ask yourself why so many people are leaving your camp. It's not because they're all frauds, it's because you've turned the left into a no-go zone for anyone with common sense.
Yeah. Hey, go pleasure Trump again. Go pleasure Trump again.
Do you know that
he goes from
a
Bernie to
DeSantis
Trump and
supporter in the
pretends. Come
primary?
on, brother. Come on, brother.
I tell people what I believe in.
What do you believe in? You
believed
believed in something yesterday. You don't believe in anything today.
Yeah, what position? What position do you think I hold that I don't honestly believe?
Can I answer the question?
Yeah.
Can I answer the question? Can I answer Trump?
Yeah, what position do I say that I believe that I don't really believe? Go ahead.
Brother, you went on Fox News with Tucker Carlson. You went on Tucker Carlson on Fox News and said gay people, that the fact that the fire department was recruiting gay people was why there was forest fires. You're a national embarrassment, okay?
Right.
You pleasure those guys for a living.
Piers, you can pull up the clip tomorrow if you want.
Okay?
I was talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, that you shouldn't hire people based on their genitals or their sexual orientation. And we now all know that. You have been one of the prime pushers of all of this neo-racism. I believe in meritocracy, that whether you're going to be a doctor or a firefighter or a basketball player or anything else, you should be hired on your qualifications, not your genitals or sexual orientation or skin color.
Yeah.
That's actually America. So you can keep trying here.
Yeah, Cenk, finish your point,
Piers,
and then I'll go to Dave Smith.
Listen, yes. When this country desperately needs to unite against the establishment on things we all agree on, so things like all the populists hate corruption. All the populists hate war. By the way, Dave doesn't. Dave will demand that we start every war for Israel and pay for all of Israel's war. So he's been establishment on that all along. But when you go to say, hey, can we get an agreement on things that we agree on, the left pushes back because they're so afraid. They got traumatized by the Dave Rubins in the world. They're like, oh, if you take one step, not even in their direction, if you allow the right wing to take a step in our direction, they're worried that you're going to be a fraud like Dave Rubin and change all of your positions overnight. So my friends on the left, do not get scarred by this fraud of a man. There are other people like Dave Smith, who
let me bring in Dave Smith.
is a libertarian. We disagree on other issues.
Let me bring in Dave Smith.
But we can actually unite on the things that we care about.
Right. Let me bring in Dave Smith.
In order to unite, you got to get past the frauds like Dave Rubin.
Right.
The left isn't traumatized, they are terrified. Rubin's success shows that you can walk away from the progressive cult and not just survive, but thrive. That scares them because it exposes the house of cards they've built. They rely on groupthink to keep people in line, and when someone breaks free and succeeds, it makes them them look weak, and of course they hate that. Cenk's obsession with Rubin is less about Rubin and more about his own insecurities. Calling Rubin a fraud doesn't erase the fact that people like Rubin are resonating with an audience Cenk has lost touch with. It's not Dave Rubin's fault that TYT is bleeding viewers while Rubin's building a loyal following. If anything, this rant shows that Cenk knows he's losing the culture war, and of course he's desperate to lash out. At least that's my unfiltered take. As always, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Give me your opinion. Do you think Cenk is on the right or the wrong? Let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.